Guys, I have some bad news. I'm taking 2024 off, and we'll not be doing the podcast. So this is going to be you guys and
Gonna be the
whatever
Chris
the
and
guest
Glenn
is,
show.
Chris and Glenn
What?
show. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
You're lying, right?
Psych. Use this as an intro. I wouldn't do that to you guys. If anyone's gonna
Yeah.
flake out first, it's going to be you.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, a weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 48 of 2023. I'm Chris Lewin, and recovered nicely from our Thanksgiving dinner. No kitchens were harmed in the making of this delicious meal. With me, I have my co-host, the Cloud God, who had to make the difficult decision between saving his waistline or saving his wallet.
Spoiler, I decided not to see either one. That's just how I roll.
And I have some Black Friday. At the time of this recording, we're actually releasing this on Cyber Monday, so we'll see if any good deals this time around, Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Yeah. You know what's going to be funny is the next episode, you're like, so remember last week I told you everything was fine at Thanksgiving? Well, terrible things happened.
House burned down.
No, hell no, man. Are you going to be in, oh my gosh. Will you be in the new house by the time Thanksgiving rolls around?
No, we're starting to move things one carload at a time, but we won't have everything over there by the time Thanksgiving. Christmas, hopefully, though.
So there's this crazy thing. I'm sure they have it there. We call them movers. They bring over a really large truck and they just take all the stuff that's in your old house and they just move it into your new house. Have you heard of such a thing?
We did. We've had horrible experiences with movers personally and anecdotally through people we know. There's nobody that I know that has found good movers, at least in this area.
I'm going to have to plug in old Garcia movers from Arizona. These guys, they were rad. I see them bouncing around the road every once in a while. But yeah, they moved my entire, not only did they move it, but they boxed up everything, furniture. It was amazing. Probably the best $500 I had ever spent.
Yeah, and that's Arizona prices. I bet that same service here would be $1,500, $2,000 easily.
Probably. I just remember fighting with my wife. I'm like, hey, look, it's the moving people. She's like, we use 2 men in a truck. I'm like, no. That's the name of
the company.
moving company.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we use Garcia Movers. And she's like, no, we didn't. And then I went and found the actual invoice. For all the things I don't actually keep, for some reason, in the drawer, I just had a crumbled up receipt from Garcia Movers that I was like, ha, in your face. Any chance I can get with being right, it's always a good day. And it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. You and me both have the need to always prove ourselves right. And we still do not have Glenn Medina. He is too busy, but he said he'll try and join sometime midway on the podcast. Let's see if he actually shows up today or not.
What's the over-under on him? Is it story 1, 2, 3, intro, just here for the dad joke? What do you think?
I think if he joins at all, he'll join midway through story 2.
I'm going to say story 3, but I'm on the same page as you, if he even shows up at all.
Glenn, get
Life
better.
of a startup, right? Just always busy, even on the holidays.
Yep.
As they get closer and closer.
It's true. No guest this week for our last full episode of 2023. As a reminder, this will be our last episode before we go on break for the month of December. We will be releasing 2 bonus episodes in December, so be sure to stay subscribed. If we get things timed rightly, it'll probably be the second week and probably the last week of December. That's what I'm targeting. Also depends when we
Will
can.
they be drinking episodes, though? That's the real question.
Oh, that's a good point. All right, let's do it.
All right. Well, I had to really, beg you for
You had
that
to
one.
sell me on that one, Brian.
How about this? How about we drink and eat McRibs? You're like, okay.
You don't have to tempt me with a good time.
Did you actually order the McRib yet?
Not yet. Yet being the keyword. I will, but not yet. It's the
Why are
McRib
you waiting, buddy?
finally made it to my area. Who knows how long it'll be here, so I better get it soon.
How many are you going to order?
At least 6. Clearly.
Holy crap. All at once?
Well,
Or to 6 during the duration of its availability?
you never know when it's gotta go. So I'll probably order 6, but then, it's one for me, it's one for the wife, the kids. So it's not that many.
Does that classify as child abuse? And when did you get 2 more kids? Yeah, I thought you guys were a family of 4.
2
You're
for
gonna
me.
get 2 of them, aren't you?
2 for my
yeah.
wife. 2 for the kids.
Whatever. It's 4 for you, and then the rest will be distributed amongst your wife and children.
We'll have to fight it out. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, if we don't get to send you the message, Merry Early Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, whatever you celebrate. Combined, we have decades of information security experience and are here not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got 4 awesome stories for this week, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This week, we're going to talk about much needed help for SIM swapping attacks, a Spider-Man pointing at each other meme story. For our third topic, a profoundly horrible idea bridging Apple and Android devices. And we'll close with what's new at Microsoft. For our first topic, much overdue regulations are coming to prevent SIM swapping attacks here in the US. The US FCC, our Federal Communications Commission, is issuing new regulations to require mobile phone carriers to perform more due diligence before moving someone's phone number to a new SIM card or phone. Over the last few years, the number of scams involving SIM swapping attacks has skyrocketed. The most common type of SIM swapping scam steals a victim's phone number to receive the 2-factor authentication code, often sent as an SMS text message, to do things like password resets on Gmail accounts, log into banking applications, or cryptocurrency exchanges. One victim reported over $12 million in losses due to a SIM swap attack when attackers got a hold of the 2-factor code for his online Bitcoin wallet.
Can he make that like a tax write-off? Like, yeah, I had like $12 million, guys, and I just want to offset what I owe this year.
I think you can write that off in losses, but if it's anything related to capital losses, you can only write off $3,000 per year, and the rest of it just carries over.
So he's set for the rest of his life.
Right, set for the rest of his life, exactly.
I think I actually knew that. I think I fell victim to that last year. Not that I had a SIM swap attack, but it was the losses greater than $3,000 I wasn't able to take. I had to carry it forward.
Yeah, that was carry that $1 million loss for the rest of your life, Brian.
Can you imagine being smart enough to just to be able to achieve the possibility of losing $12 million? But dumb enough.
I was about to say,
lost it as well.
you know that saying, a fool and his money. But yeah, I mean, specifically for this one and some of the crypto ones, our advice, we've always given this on the podcast: never, ever, never, never, never store that much Bitcoin in an online hot wallet. Always put into a hardware wallet. That's just like you said, to be smart enough to have that much money and to not have it stored in a hardware wallet or even through multiple exchanges. That's not so smart.
Well, the hardware wallet's not even that secure anymore. Not as much as I was led to believe. Like, someone just can just start plugging in 24 random words. Eventually, you're gonna have success.
Yeah, well, so you can spread it out too.
I'm gonna get another Ledger 4 Nano and just plug in a bunch of random things there. See if I ever get lucky.
If you have $12 million, you should just buy 12 ledgers and put $1 million on each one.
True.
There you go. Diversification.
Diversify, baby.
The FCC hopes that they are going to be able to set baseline requirements to establish a uniform framework across the mobile wireless industry. So all the mobile carriers here in the U.S. would have to adhere to it. They want to do things like really, at least to me, really common sense things. Like, you should alert a user before porting out their number to a new SIM card or phone. Like, that's easy. If it's legitimate, send me a message that says, you're about to port your number. Press 1 to accept. Press 2 to decline. Like, something as simple as that. But right now
I think they already do that. Like, I just... My wife had, got a new phone, and it was like literally just setting it all up. And it was just like the old phone received a message from our cell phone carrier, because I'm practicing great OPSEC right now. I don't think it actually approved it. It was more of a notification. It was like, hey, your number is on a new phone. Deuces, baby.
Yeah.
At least there was some type of notification there.
That's a first step, but actually requiring the user to have interaction, because what attackers have done, they bribe store managers, they've stolen their iPads to perform SIM swap attacks. There's just malicious insiders. There's people sending remote access Trojans to customer support people that can do it. There's all kinds of ways to do it from the inside, but having that customer interaction, I think, is so important to say, yes, I really want this to happen.
So when I worked at AT&T, the SIM cards used to actually come on a credit card. It looked like a credit card and had like a barcode on there, and then you push card on it. And, yeah, and then the little SIM card would pop out. And we got into so much trouble because we had stacks of SIM cards, like call them bands, right? And it was like right around, I think, that movie with what was the guy from not American Pie, American something,
Jason Biggs.
No, I'm thinking he was the pedophile guy.
The pedophile guy. Well,
American Beauty.
Oh, Kevin Spacey.
He was in a movie where there was some sort of card tricks, or maybe, I don't know, counting cards.
21.
Or something like that. 21. Thank you. Yes. And anyways, I got really hell bent on like flicking cards, right? Like tossing them. But the thing is, with these SIM cards, like the entire thing itself, it's like thick. It's like a credit card. Like, I mean, like you can. We were cutting people, to be honest with you. Like, we were throwing them so hard that it would cut people. It would stick in the wall. And there was some sort of huge problem, because then we would just go outside and just start chucking them just to see how far we could throw them. Like hundreds of them, right? And then found out, like, there was like this whole, like, hey, what happened to all the SIM cards at the store?
$20 a piece.
25 at the time. I was like, oh, man, I don't know. That's so weird.
Yeah,
$25.
Someone came in and just walked out with them. I didn't want to stop them.
Yeah. So I guess my point here is now they have eSIMs, and I think it's because I was hurling them at 60 miles an hour at the wall, because you can't do that with an electronic SIM.
You could do it with an iPhone, though.
Yeah, right. It's one of those things, like the Bible is very, very accurate, especially if it's thrown at a close distance.
I think the reason they switched to eSIM was because the iPhone, and probably true of all their mobile phones, they couldn't cram any more electronics in. They had to get rid of the SIM card tray just so they can just cram more storage, more memory, more chips, more batteries. That's legacy. You don't need a physical SIM card anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone personally that's been the victim of a SIM swap attack?
No, sir, I don't. I'm sure you do, because your family's so big and extensive and pretty much dumb. So go on.
No one that I personally know, which is interesting that how widespread this problem is, but I don't know anybody firsthand that's ever gotten SIM swapped. I mean, I think it has to be somewhat targeted too. It's people that brag online that they have a lot of cryptocurrency. So I think a lot of people I know practice pretty decent OPSEC, so they're not targeted with that.
Oh man, my wife she wasn't pissed. Like, she was just irritated because the password for my phone is it's big, right? That's what she said. Anyways, and she's like, my password's 7742. Why can't yours be easy? What are you trying to hide? I'm like, number one, you know what the password is. I tell it to you all the time. Like, I understand, like, why do you always forget it? And then two, I was like, do you know how much fun I would be made of at work if someone's like shoulder surfing and sees me punch in
0,
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, like, I was like, I can't do that. It's like, our job is to be secure. And I do have to be a little bit thankful, like, for some things like Gmail and maybe some of the social media stuff. It all prompts for multi-factor authentication nowadays. And I don't think she ever enrolled. I can't see her being like, yeah, this sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, it'll be on by default soon. I think it's on by default for all new accounts, and then they're going to start rolling that out to existing accounts. And so eventually everybody's going to be multi-factored for phishing purposes.
Yeah. So are you blue check certified on X yet?
No, I don't pay the $8 a month. I'm not important enough to warrant paying that $8 a month.
If I ever get on there, I'm gonna do the one that's $11. I'm gonna monetize. We're gonna get rich, Chris.
Gotta get those views. We'll drive those views. Well, anything to prevent SIM swapping attacks and raising the bar for attackers, that's a good thing. I am normally government stay out of my business, low regulation, but this one makes a lot of sense, and I can definitely get behind this.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction, that's for sure.
Yeah, although the free market would dictate that companies that require this, you would think consumers would be driven to those types of companies. But at some point, it's like, no, we need uniform regulation across the entire mobile phone industry, because a lot of people don't know about these risks, and we just have to force the companies. They're not going to do it voluntarily. They've had their chance for 20 plus years, and it's still a problem.
You're 100% right. I think it's normal for us, or at least we understand it because we just like kind of eat and breathe security. But to anyone normal, they're just like, man, you're an effing nerd, Brian. I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, it's terrible, right? The robots are going to take over. They're like, yeah, I don't care. Like, it's not even on their radar. They can care less.
Yeah.
My Instagram account got stolen. I'll just make a new one.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't get it.
Reminds me of this story. So Brian Krebs wrote a story in his blog that he says he's choosing, because he's a high profile guy, so he's going to be the target for a lot of attacks. So he tried to social engineer himself several banks, and the one bank that did not give in and cave into a social engineering tech, that's the bank he banks with. And for obvious reasons, he doesn't say who it is, but that was something interesting that he has to think about that, many people wouldn't think about. Is my local bank or my local credit union, are they subject to social engineering?
It was SVB. It's like, damn it.
Could be
the one that actually got me.
Yeah.
Where is Krebs at? Is he a California guy?
He's back east somewhere. I want to say he's Virginia.
I will say, I was in DC, I think last week. I don't remember anymore. And I stayed in Crystal City, which I don't even know what that is. I didn't do very much exploring because I've already done the whole tourist stuff. Did it at night many years ago. And anytime I did go outside to go walk around, either fighting dinner, some place to grab a energy drink, it was like The Walking Dead. There was nothing there at all. And I'm like, is everyone so insanely robust? It's like, 8 o'clock, got to turn in for bed because I have a government job, got to be up at 4, got to punch the clock, or I just didn't understand why it was so desolate.
Yeah, depending on the part of DC, they also probably didn't want to get murdered.
Yeah, I don't think this area was one of them. I will say that I went to there's an LA Fitness, and it was pretty cool. It was like a $20 drop-in fee. It was not that big of a deal. And I went in there. It's this massive gym. I think it was 2 stories, and there were 6 people there, including myself.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't have to wait for a single machine. Yeah. It was just me and 5 other dudes getting our pump on.
All right. Speaking about getting your pump on, for our second topic, I probably had at least 8 people send this story to me, wanting us to cover on the podcast, and this will be our ransomware story of the week. The AlphV Ransomware group has been active, and they attacked a software company called Meridian Link, stealing their data but not encrypting their files. After Meridian Link did not respond to AlphV's messages asking them to pay a ransom or their files would be released, they went ahead and filed a complaint with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC.
Let me go tell my mom.
Exactly. This is due to new regulations passed by the SEC requiring companies to disclose within 4 days of a material data breach. However, AlphV jumped the gun and filed the complaint too early, since the new disclosure regulations do not take effect until December 15th. Oops. What AlphV does not understand is that laws and regulations move very slowly here in the US. Once this rule takes effect, is this going to be a new type of extortion scam in the future?
Wait a second. So instead of Meridian Link telling their mom, the SEC, AlphV did it?
AlphV did it, yeah. So Meridian Link was supposed to file a report with the SEC had this regulation been in place, but AlphV's like, yeah, you're not paying us. We're going to get you in trouble with the regulators then.
Did they get in trouble, or not until December 15th, you think?
I don't think anything will happen until December 15th. They'll probably get a talking to by the SEC, but the SEC can't find them because the regulation's not in place yet.
And I guess there's 2 things. Number, what the heck does Meridian Link even do?
I don't know. They're a software company. That's as far as I got.
Oh, okay. And to answer your question, will this be some sort of new extortion scam? I have no idea. Didn't we just sign, or is it just U.S. governments that they're not going to pay ransomware, or is it just as a whole, the U.S. economy?
It's the governments. There was like 400 mayors that signed on it, so cities, and then the U.S. as a federal government would not pay, but individual private companies can do whatever they want.
Gotcha. When you said cities, I was like, ugh, I've dealt with a lot of cities in my day. It made me think, like, sometimes I feel like if you are good at your job, if you're like on the customer side, I feel like there's a ceiling if you want to remain technical of like how long you could actually be there before there's just so much red tape that you feel like you're useless.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like those type of people usually become great sales engineers if they have a personality. Otherwise, I feel like it's just one of those things that just starts to eat at you internally and you just can't do it.
Pretty much. I when I was researching articles to talk about on the podcast today, I think I saw, it might have been the city of Long Beach, and they said, yeah, they got hit with ransomware and all the city services are shut down. But yeah, you take your pick of city. Right by me, Hayward got hit, Oakland got hit. So I think San Francisco, the San Francisco MTA got hit. Just city after city, they just keep getting hit. And I think, as far as I know, to their credit, they haven't paid, but their services have been down for quite some time. I know Oakland took like 3 months to recover.
Oh, jeez. So at what point do you think these ransomware gangs just say, you know what, screw it, let's just move to California and raid the Nike stores and just resell stuff on eBay? It might be a little more profitable.
Yeah, when they get to the point where it's just not worth it to them if nobody pays.
Dude, I don't even know how I came across it, but so many videos. It just like when the smash and grab happens, I always kind of thought it was just like a singular dude just walking in, just taking some stuff and bouncing out. But they got like 15, 20 people just robbing the store and no one does anything about it.
It's organized, yeah. There's one video in particular, I forget who said to me, but basically one guy walks into a Home Depot with a giant crowbar because they keep the power tools locked up now. Uh-huh. The guy comes in with the crowbar, breaks the lock, opens the gate, and then...
Use the appropriate pronoun that is called the key to the city.
The key to the city. The key to the city was the shotgun. Or the federal master
it was
key.
in living color, I think, back
it?
in the day. Yeah, he's like, I present you the key to the city to like a homeless guy to give him a crowbar.
Give him a crowbar, yeah. So they use the key to the city, they break open the locked container that has all the power tools, and everyone comes in. They take like 2 or 3 because the limit here in California is 900. So if it's under 900, they won't prosecute. If you take 4, you're going to be over the $900 limit. So everybody takes 3, just walks up, takes 3, walks out, and then that's what they do. It's called organized retail theft. That's the politically correct term that they use.
So let's say you're at Home Depot and you see these people come in. Are you just going to step to the side and let them do their thing?
I'm not getting hurt for this merchandise. I'll film it, but I won't get in their way and get hurt.
I think it's a perfect opportunity just to like... Can you imagine, like, they're so used to just people standing there recording that, as they're running out, I just T-bone them with like a shopping cart, just
clothesline
boom, send them in the next week. Oh gosh, that'd be so much fun.
See, you could probably do it. They'd be intimidated by you. I guarantee they would not be intimidated by me.
Did I ever tell you that there was a time I was walking into Walmart and this dude, he comes running out of the store with a bicycle and some tools, like a tool box, and he jumps on the bike, but it's like in a super high gear. So he it's a bike that he stole, and he's going so fast, but he's just moving so slow, like he didn't even understand like what's going on.
How gears work, yeah.
Yeah, the store manager was like, "Stop him!" And I was like, just push him. He just falls off the bike. But
all around good guy.
There was
in California, you might be sued and you might be liable if you injure him. That's the downside to that.
Yeah, good luck finding me, copper. Like, that's not gonna happen. Hey, look,
you ain't catching me, copper.
Yeah, see, never catch me. Nah.
Yeah. Meet me out back. Yeah.
My wife says that she hates when I talk like that. Like, you can just hear. You know what? I'm not gonna. I have an analogy for that one, but I'm gonna keep that one. She's like, don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. See
that back
there's.
here.
Look at that. There's Glenn. He just decided to show up.
Glenn finally decided to show up.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Did you see? You eat a McRib? Look at that. What is that on your face? So we had an over under that you would show up by, I think, story number 2. I think Chris.
Yeah, I think I nailed it. Yeah, midway through story 2, I think I nailed it.
What?
So
you guys doubted me.
I didn't think you show up at all. Freaking loser. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. My voice is very hoarse. Sounds like I've been smoking a tailpipe. Been very sick. Trying to catch up and stay healthy here. Sorry.
It's all good.
Are you recording on Audacity?
Yeah, I'm on Audacity. So
awesome. All right, so we're talking about catch you up. No, go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna. You had said something that rang a bell. So the smile you're on camera nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I met with a customer and I was like, I was just at your store and I was like, doing self checkout. And I was like, I saw the thing. He's like, you have me on camera. It's like, smile, you're on camera. And they're like, yeah, that doesn't do anything. It's just a mirror image of you. Yeah, like it's not actually recording anything. It doesn't go anywhere. I'm like, you're kidding. He goes, no, not at all.
Yeah, they know. Even if
it doesn't do anything, it's not even recording, or is it just a?
It's literally like, imagine you have your cell phone on, and you're just staring at like your reflection. That's all it's doing. It's not even on record, but it says it's recording, but it's not.
I don't know why they do that, because like to record, even if you like record to a local SD card, it can't be that expensive. It has to be some kind of like privacy or regulation concern.
Probably. All I know is I had to go to the airport, and freaking as expensive as Clear is, I keep getting prompted for my damn identity, like my driver's license, and I have to walk over there. And I'll tell you what, the facial recognition machine, like it's like that, dude. Like as soon as I get in frames, like boom, got you, Brian Deitch. Like it just knows me. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, they've been scraping all that public information that you post on your Instagram and everywhere else.
Yeah. Joke's on them. I'm into that.
But to have they caught on to the middle finger though when you go through the scanner.
No, I don't know. Maybe.
They're like, yep.
I haven't done that one in a while.
2 middle fingers. That's definitely Brian Deitch.
Flipping the bird.
All right, I had a idea and you derailed my train of thought when all the Glenn jokes came.
That's why you got to write it down.
It's true. It had something to do with organized retail theft, clotheslining people. Yeah, all right.
That's two totally opposite. That's two totally opposite topics right there.
Can you imagine just like I'm just clotheslining people, zip tying them like hogs. I'm like, this is a citizen's arrest, and they're like, no one cares, man. Just let them go.
That'd be funny though. I'd pay to watch that. Pay to watch Brian just clotheslining people, hog tying them, and then he wears a cape and a mask because if the police catch him, he's in trouble, not the thieves.
I know, right? You hurt their feelings, but yeah, I totally would injure somebody.
All right, Glenn's just in time to cover our third topic. This idea was so boneheaded, I was 100% sure it would fail, and guess what? It did. For years, Android users have envied their Apple counterparts for their ability to use iMessage. It's a seamless messaging application that's exclusive to Apple products, so Mac, iPad, iPhone, and Apple Watch. iMessage will not work on any non-Apple product, and Apple claims this is due to the T2 security hardware that they use. In a new segment we're going to call What Were They Thinking? A company called Sunbird released an app for Android called iMessage Bridge, claiming it can act as a bridge between iMessage users to allow Android users to have the ability to use iMessage. However, just days after the app's release, it's been pulled from the Google Play Store after atrocious security concerns were discovered and raised with Google. The app lacked HTTPS for authentication, so your credentials are completely sent in the clear, and does not use any type of end-to-end encryption, despite the company's claims that it does. It was found that Sunbird logged and retained all messages, vCards, documents, images, and videos. If that was not already bad enough, the retained user data could also be downloaded by others, FaceMeet, Palm for sure. The reason for this is Sunbird used an app called Sentry, which is meant to log only air messages, but instead they abused it and used it to log the actual messages and files. Wow.
I mean, should we be surprised that an application named after a Pontiac is absolute garbage? I don't think so. And then also, they're taking people's V cards. Wow, I haven't heard that since high school.
That's the contact card. So when you send somebody a first message, it sends them your contact information. So you know
no hymens are included
messaging
in
you.
that. Okay.
Likely not, Brian. Can't say for the images and videos, but not
different
in the
V card. Okay,
V card.
got it.
Yeah. Glenn is on
Glenn,
mute.
you're on mute. It's always Glenn with his audio.
It's brilliant.
So
shows up late, shows up with bad audio.
Sorry, gents. So if you look under the covers under Sunbird, are the creators like China and North Korea? Did that get?
So I'm not sure. So I think Sunbird is the developer, and they published the company under a company called Nothing. So I think Nothing like white labeled it, but Sunbird's the actual developer. I didn't go too far down the rabbit hole just because I knew this was an idiot idea. I didn't need to know who wrote the app.
Yeah.
I had to just Google it real quick. There was a Pontiac Sunbird, by the way.
Yeah, it was a terrible car.
My little brother had a convertible Pontiac Sunbird, and I think within hours of having the vehicle, he pulled into a jack-in-the-box at a high rate of speed, and he hit a handicap parking sign, but the sign was anchored into the earth, apparently, at the core, that this was an unmovable object, and so the Sunbird, like, here's the 3.5 foot whatever pillar of truth, right? And then the Sunbird is just all the way up, like halfway stuck to the transmission.
Underneath it.
Totaled the car, and that was it.
Wow.
So
if it was rear-wheel drive, he might have been able to get down, but front-wheel drive, forget it if the front wheels are off the ground.
Pontiac Sunbird comes after the car, the Pontiac Firebird. Remember the Firebird? Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more fast.
Yeah.
I think my son wants he wants a Sunfire.
Yeah. I would never buy a Sunbird.
Buy him the app, then you can say, I bought you a Sunfire.
Ooh.
So when you first started this whole thing, I think we were going to be talking about the Apple support for RCS. Did you hear about that?
I did, but there's a meme going on around that every few months, every few years, Apple says, "Yep, we're going to embrace RCS. Yep, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. It's finally going to come," and we're all still waiting.
Oh, okay. This was actually the first time I actually heard about it. So that's the rich communication service. So my father-in-law, he's got an Android of some nature, and anytime he sends stuff, it's like it always comes in like a fraction of the size, and the quality is horrible. And then vice versa, if we send it to him, it has to be like an iCloud link or G Drive.
It conforms to the MMS standard, which the maximum MMS message is like 1 meg or something like that.
Yeah, it's horse poopy.
Yeah, the pessimist in me says Apple is reluctant to embrace RCS because once they do, they lose exclusivity and vendor lock for iMessage. That people will continue to buy Apple products just to get iMessage, and if they improve the standard text messaging...
Have they not been watching marketing? No one uses iMessage unless you're one of those guys, right? It doesn't use anything else. Everyone else has kind of moved on.
I think everyone's like this, oh, iMessage? Yeah, this is the blue box. That's the only thing they actually. I don't think anyone actually buys it because of any other reason other than that.
Agree.
Remember when the first iPhone came out and you couldn't even do picture messages? It just wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, no apps, no MMS.
Yeah, MMS support came out.
And look at it now. They're making full movies using the iPhone now. It's gotten so good.
I watched that whole commercial where they were talking about filming movies.
Shot on the iPhone.
I was like, I wonder if they recorded this commercial with an iPhone, because I don't think they did.
It's meta.
Yeah.
They use the iPhone to record the iPhone commercial. I haven't tried the new ProRes video feature on my phone. I should, actually. That requires high-speed external storage, but it's supposed to be so good. 4K, 60 frames per second or something. Anyways, should definitely be skeptical if you ever hear any product called a bridge, because a bridge by definition has to be an interpreter. They have to decrypt the encrypted communications. They have a copy. They can claim to delete it, and as we've seen in this case, they log everything, and they didn't even log it very securely.
Trust no one. Burn the world.
Yeah, true TNO security. That's when you go like Signal. Just like, why not use Signal then? Like Signal, WhatsApp, they're all proven to be end-to-end encrypted, and it's cross-platform.
Yeah, you would think, right? I like Signal, so.
Until you realize the security summit keeps getting deleted, so then you put a iMessage.
Yeah, our friend of the show, Victor, he's on Android, and we frequently communicate to him using Signal, and everything works fine there. No bridge needed.
That's right.
Talk about a crybaby, that kid.
Love you, Victor.
Glass is always half full.
He's an all-around good guy.
He is. He's good. We love you. We love you, Vic. VDL.
All right, for our last topic, and this will be the last topic, official topic for 2023. It'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about all the drama going over at OpenAI. For those of you that don't know, OpenAI is the parent company that created ChatGPT, the explosive application, the fastest growing application that was released only a year ago. Can you believe ChatGPT's only been around a year and all the AI buzz that it's created? But there's going to be no shortage of stories. This story is changing by the day, and when we regroup in January, I'm sure things might have changed again. For a summary, this past Friday after market close, OpenAI said that they fired co-founder and CEO Sam Altman for ambiguous reasons, stating they said he was not being candid with the board. I don't even know what that means. There was an immediate backlash, and hundreds of OpenAI employees said they would resign unless the board reinstated Sam Altman, and the board themselves resigned. The board had instant regret and tried to hire Sam back, but Sam said he would only come back if the board made some changes, including improved governance and possibly even forcing the board to resign themselves. And I believe OpenAI only has about 800 employees, and I think something like 600 or 700 employees signed this pledge to resign unless Sam Altman comes back. So if Sam Altman goes and these people make good on their threat to resign, there's no more OpenAI. That company won't exist anymore. On Sunday night,
I was going to say, it wouldn't be a bad thing, but that's all right. Another one will pop up.
It'll create itself. What are you talking about? It's self-sustaining at this point, right?
He's become self-aware.
Yeah. It's got consciousness.
On Sunday nights, just a few days later, Sam Altman and the board said they could not come to terms, so Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, hired Sam to lead a team of advanced AI engineers. Most of OpenAI is likely to follow, making OpenAI an acquire-hire company for Microsoft.
Didn't Microsoft, don't they own the source code? Don't they have a controlling interest in OpenAI as it is already?
They're 50% invested, so they invested $13 billion. They own 50% of the company, and now they're just going to acquire 100% of the company for basically nothing. They just have to hire the people.
So I listened to Sam on Joe Rogan, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of went into that podcast thinking this guy's gonna suck, and I left actually kind of liking him. His perspectives on AI were kind of enlightening, but he's of the same mindset of the governance aspect of AI has got to be there. But unfortunately, you can govern OpenAI all you want, right? It's all the other ones that are popping up. If they don't all conform to that similar, rules and regulations, then you're just gonna have a problem all over the board. It's it'll just be a game of whack-a-mole.
That's the thing that there's been. I know there's an executive order last month about AI and regulations and how to control it. The problem is if we pass many regulations here in the U.S., just China and India are just going to go crazy. They're going to grow unrestrained. They're going to have harm. They're going to abuse things that they don't have the same guardrails that we have here. So if you put too many regulations in place, you get regulatory capture and we won't have the innovation we need. But if you don't put enough regulations in, then you do get these things like abuse and trust and safety issues. So it's a pretty fine line.
I think, well, I don't know. Number one, you're right. Like China would be like, suck my communist. Like, we're not going to.
That's what they always do anyway.
Yeah.
They don't regulate anything there.
Yeah. I think, China's going to be like, yeah, we're not going to do that. And then I also think the U.S. is going to be like, this is what we're going to say on paper, guys. But on the back end, we're going to abuse the shit out of this all day long. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We control who uses it, but ultimately we'll be the naysayer.
Yeah, that's what China does all the time. Like with the whole Paris Accords, like China's like, yeah, we're going to cut down on carbon for sure, but our limits don't kick in until 2050, and until then we're free to pollute. And when 2049 comes around, we're going to say we're not ready yet, but everybody else has to conform to it and handicap themselves. Like that's just what China does all the time.
There's a crazy statistic out there that China is building, I think it's like 600, either 6 or 600% more coal mines or coal plants than the rest of the world, like combined.
Yeah, I mean,
they're doing that.
Makes sense.
And people are like, they're not using it. It's like backup in case the clean energy fails. I'm like, you guys are idiots. That is not.
Like, I got a bridge to sell you.
Yeah. Got some oceanfront property in Arizona.
Yeah. Well, some of the early speculation of why OpenAI ousted Sam was that OpenAI was growing too big too fast, but it still doesn't make sense why you would oust the co-founder and CEO. Like, he was the visionary, he created the product. Why on earth would you get rid of him?
But it was the chief
Nobody
scientist, right? That caused that.
Yeah.
Ilya Sutskever or something like that.
Yeah, I think she was the CTO.
Yeah.
And she was going to be the interim CEO, but they found somebody else.
You think Ilya just found Sam like eating a sandwich in the lunchroom, says, "That's it, Sam. That's the last time you're going to eat my sandwich."
Yes, that's exactly what happened then.
I'm going to oust you. You're no longer going to be chief executive officer.
I'm impressed, though. But go ahead.
The real conspiracy tinfoil hat people said this was a plot orchestrated by Microsoft to acquire OpenAI on the cheap, because if Sam, I forget what the rules were. I think like if Sam resigned, his non-compete kicks in and he can't be hired by Microsoft. But if the board fires him, then all bets are off. There's no non-compete. He can go wherever he wants, and he did, because on Sunday Microsoft hired him.
I do want to question everything that he went to go work for Microsoft. I don't get that.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah,
his demeanor though, he's fine. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, like, how much money's enough? But I'll tell you what, man. OpenAI was running freaking lean at 800 employees. Like, that's wild. Now imagine you take OpenAI, or at least that technology, and then you pair it with a company like Microsoft or Bing. Not Bing, Google, right? That has it's one thing to have really cool tech, but it's another thing to have vast amounts of data. Like that's scary. And I don't think that OpenAI really had that. No. Not nearly to the capacity as Microsoft or Google or Facebook.
Facebook, let's say the other one. That's why Meta created Llama, Google created Bard, and then but combining the best of breed LLM with the best of breed data miners, that would be a very, very powerful combination.
Chris, I wonder if you know about this. My son was telling me something about Reddit, and I don't know if it's privacy or communities going dark, but it was starting to affect the way that Google presents search results. So one thing I have noticed as of late is if I do use Google, Reddit's usually up there. If I have a weird question, why does my my Bronco have these accessory panels? Yeah, right. Why do my balls get wet every time I take a anyways? It's always like a Reddit post that's there. I'm like, apparently
Reddit closed the APIs. Yeah, so Reddit closed the APIs for third-party companies, but you're still able to crawl it. I think it was Twitter or X that limited that if you're not, I think the first thing they did was if you're not a logged in user, you could view 2,000 tweets a day or something, and then they started saying, well, now you have to be logged in, so then we can keep track of how many tweets you read per day, and you have to be a paying customer, you have to use their API. So that I know Elon was tired of all the data costs from all the AI training people out there trying to get all that data for free.
Did I show you guys so there's like Google history or history.google.com, right? Like you guys have seen that before, right?
Yeah.
So there's also myactivity.google.com, and you can like there's even more stuff you can opt out. And so I went through that and I was like, boom, took it all off. If I open up YouTube, the app just doesn't even work anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like there's nothing to show you.
No recommendations.
That happened to me as well. I was like, why am I watching the same videos over and over again? I was like, what happened?
All right. Well, when we regroup back in January, we'll see if anything happened in the month of December with OpenAI and Microsoft. We continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week.
Dad joke of the week.
This week, I'm up.
Oh, it's better be good.
I know. Jeez.
I went shopping for cherries and microphone stands.
Cherries and
Bada bing, bada boom.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Disappointed in you.
What the heck is that?
Well, we'll come back with some Christmas themed dad jokes. I had to pull this one on short notice, so for our Christmas episode.
Was it because I was supposed to be on the dad
December.
joke duty? No.
Chris was going highbrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He
I
is.
didn't want to pull that on you guys last minute. We did throw this relatively last minute, but 2 bonus episodes coming out next month.
Got it.
Try to get some Christmas
We'll each
themed
do
dad
one.
jokes.
We'll each do one.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, to wrap things up, the US is finally clamping down on SIM swapping. AlphV found a way to extort their victims. Found a new way, I should say. Only use iMessage if you're on an Apple device. And OpenAI is now part of Microsoft. That's all I have for this week. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Find us on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to all our listeners and subscribers who rate us 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast on your favorite podcast listening app. My co-hosts Brian Deitch and Glenn Medina. I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next year. And as always, have a nice day.
Bye, Felicia.
Guys, I have some bad news. I'm taking 2024 off. I will not be doing the podcast. So this is going to be you guys. And,
The Chris and Glenn Show.
What?
Chris and Glenn show. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
You're lying, right?
Psych! Use this as a as an intro. I wouldn't do that to you guys.
Damn.
If anyone's going to flake out first, it's going to be you. And
Glenn.
Hey.
Have a nice day.